Imagine an object that transcends human comprehension, capable of controlling invisible forces, summoning supernatural entities, and revealing the deepest secrets of existence. This is the Ring of Solomon, a legendary artifact said to have been given to King Solomon by a divine force, granting him absolute power over the spiritual world. But after the king's death, it vanished without a trace, plunging history into mystery and speculation. What if this ring had never been lost? What if it still existed, kept in secrecy or controlled by those who wish to manipulate the fate of humanity? Whoever holds the power over such a dangerous object could not only command demons but also shape the future of the world as we know it. After all, what really happened to the Ring of Solomon? The Ring of Solomon is more than a mere myth. It is a symbol of absolute power that transcends generations. Its origin dates back to a singular moment in biblical history when Solomon, the third king of Israel, was chosen by God to rule with unmatched wisdom. It is believed that the ring was given to him directly by an archangel, as a divine gift to help him fulfill his mission of leading the people and building the legendary Temple of Jerusalem. But what made this object so special? The ring was described as a unique jewel, adorned with enigmatic inscriptions that many scholars believe to be divine seals, containing sacred words or even the names of God. Jewish and Islamic tradition associates it with the Seal of Solomon, a six-pointed star that symbolizes the perfect balance between opposing forces: good and evil, heaven and earth, the visible and the invisible. Yet the power of the ring went beyond its symbolism. With it, Solomon could command the so-called jinn, spiritual entities often interpreted as demons or neutral spirits. These beings obeyed the ring and worked under Solomon's orders. According to texts such as the Testament of Solomon, he used these spirits to carry out monumental tasks, including the construction of the Temple of Jerusalem. But how could a simple object grant such control over such powerful entities? Apocryphal texts suggest that the ring functioned as a bridge between the human and spiritual worlds. It not only granted authority but also allowed Solomon to understand the forces that governed the universe. This explains why he was able to solve impossible riddles, deliver wise judgments, and even foresee future events. But was this knowledge derived from the ring or from Solomon's already brilliant mind? Another fascinating aspect is the role of the ring in the temple's construction. According to legends, Solomon commanded legions of spirits to cut, transport, and shape the stones that would form the structure. It is said that he relied on the ring not only as a practical tool but also as a sort of spiritual shield that protected him from any rebellion by the entities that served him. Was the ring a symbol of balance or a weapon of absolute control? However, the ring was not merely a tool of physical or spiritual power. It was seen as an object of wisdom. Whoever possessed it could access hidden truths and connect to divine knowledge itself. It is no wonder that Solomon became one of history's most fascinating figures, known not only for his wisdom but also for his connection to the supernatural. Interestingly, this description of the ring as an instrument of control over invisible forces has sparked centuries of theological and philosophical debate. Some saw it as a divine blessing, while others feared it was a dangerous manifestation of magic. Could Solomon, even as a king chosen by God, have crossed boundaries in his use of the ring? What we do know is that after his death, the fate of the ring became a mystery. It is not mentioned in later historical texts, and canonical scriptures remain silent about its whereabouts. This has fueled countless theories about its location and even its true nature. Was the ring a divine gift, or an occult artifact possibly created with darker purposes? Another intriguing question is how the power of the ring affected Solomon emotionally and spiritually. Would constant contact with invisible forces not have been an immense burden? Many believe that the ring not only granted power but also exacted a price. Was Solomon tested by the very object that made him unique? For some esoteric traditions, the ring was not just a symbol of wisdom but also a test of character. It represented the balance between using power for good and succumbing to the temptation to wield it for selfish purposes. This internal struggle may explain the moments of doubt and regret that appear in writings attributed to Solomon himself. In the end, it is undeniable that the Ring of Solomon has become a landmark in the collective imagination. It is not just a lost relic but also a representation of something humanity has always desired: absolute control over the unknown. But did the ring truly exist, or is its story an allegory for something greater? And if it did exist, how could an object of such power disappear without a trace? This is where theories about its fate begin to come to life, raising questions that lead us to the next step in our journey. The disappearance of the Ring of Solomon is one of history's greatest enigmas. How could such a powerful object, vital to the narrative of one of the greatest biblical kings, simply vanish? The Bible and other canonical texts remain silent about the ring's fate after Solomon's death, but various traditions and apocryphal manuscripts offer possible explanations that intertwine mythology, history, and esotericism. One of the most accepted theories is that the ring was buried with Solomon. This belief stems from the idea that the artifact was so dangerous it had to be safeguarded forever, protected by invisible forces and kept out of reach of ordinary mortals. However, the exact location of Solomon's tomb remains a matter of speculation. Biblical accounts of his burial are vague, and many believe his resting place was hidden to prevent looting and desecration. But if the ring was buried, why has no archaeological evidence ever corroborated this theory? Other traditions suggest that the ring was stolen shortly after Solomon's death. This hypothesis gains traction due to the instability that arose in Israel after his passing, with internal power struggles and an imminent division of the kingdoms. Could the ring have been taken by someone seeking to use it for their own purposes? What would happen if such an artifact fell into the wrong hands? Interestingly, some Islamic traditions provide a fascinating account. They claim that the ring was taken by a demon named Asmodeus while Solomon was still alive. According to this narrative, Asmodeus usurped the king's throne by stealing the ring and was only defeated after Solomon managed to reclaim it. Though legendary, this story raises an intriguing question. Was the ring so deeply tied to the supernatural that its possession was contested even among spiritual forces? There are also more pragmatic but equally intriguing theories. Some scholars believe that the ring was never truly lost but was deliberately hidden by the priests of the Temple of Jerusalem. Their reasoning would have been to protect the world from its immeasurable power. These priests, guardians of Israel's spiritual secrets, may have passed the ring down through generations, preserving it in absolute secrecy. But if this is true, where could it be now? A disquieting possibility is that the ring was broken into fragments, each containing a portion of its power. This idea echoes through various esoteric texts, which speak of sacred artifacts being scattered to prevent any one person from wielding total control over their power. Could the Ring of Solomon be yet another example of this concept? If so, are the fragments hidden in sacred locations or protected by secret societies? Another intriguing detail is the complete absence of mentions of the ring in historical records following Solomon's era. Ancient manuscripts were often written to preserve the deeds of great kings, but in the case of the ring, all that remains are scattered fragments of legend and oral tradition. This suggests that its disappearance was intentional. But who would have had the power and influence to erase it from history? The notion that the ring was secretly passed down among powerful leaders over the centuries cannot be ruled out either. Rulers seeking to maintain authority and expand their domains might have used the ring as a tool to manipulate unseen forces in their favor. Napoleon, Alexander the Great, and other legendary conquerors are often linked to theories about mystical artifacts. Could any of them have had access to the power of the Ring of Solomon? In esoteric texts, there are intriguing hints about the ring's possible journey after Solomon's death. Groups like the Essenes, the Knights Templar, and even the Freemasons are mentioned as potential inheritors of its secret. These groups were known for guarding hidden knowledge and performing rituals based on ancient symbolism. Could the ring be among their treasures? Curiously, mentions of the Ring of Solomon can be found in cultures outside the Middle East. Ancient Greek texts and Indian traditions speak of magical rings capable of controlling spiritual forces. Could the Ring of Solomon be the origin of these stories? Or is it merely a localized interpretation of an object that transcended cultural boundaries? The legend is also tied to the concept that certain objects retain the residual energy of their former owners. If the ring truly existed, it might have absorbed Solomon's essence, becoming even more powerful over time. This would explain why it was so carefully protected, or hidden. But why hide something so powerful instead of destroying it? This question is often raised by theorists, and the answer typically boils down to one explanation. The ring could not be destroyed. Its power would have been so intrinsic to the fabric of the spiritual world that eliminating it was impossible. This leads to another question. Was the ring more than a physical artifact? Could it have been a symbolic or spiritual manifestation, accessible only to those who understood its mysteries? Regardless of which theory is true, one thing is certain. the Ring of Solomon is more than a mere lost object. It represents a convergence of power, wisdom, and mystery. But if it still exists, where is it now? Is it lost forever, or has someone found it and kept it hidden from the public eye? And most importantly, who would be worthy or dangerous enough to wield the power of such an object? If the Ring of Solomon truly exists, who holds it today? This question fuels some of the most fascinating and controversial conspiracy theories surrounding the artifact. Many believe the ring is not lost, but rather in the hands of a secret elite that uses it to shape the course of history. Mysterious orders, such as the Illuminati, the Rosicrucians, and even governmental organizations, are often pointed to as possible guardians of its power. But why would these societies have such an interest in the ring? What makes these theories so convincing to many is the idea that the ring is a tool for absolute control. Imagine an object capable of influencing global events, manipulating supernatural forces, and ensuring immeasurable wealth and power. Such power could explain the rise of great empires or the economic and political dominance of certain families and organizations throughout history. Wouldn't the ring be the perfect instrument for this? Various symbols associated with the Ring of Solomon, such as the Seal of Solomon, the six-pointed star, appear in unexpected places. It can be seen in ancient monuments, government seals, and even on currency, like the famous all-seeing eye. To theorists, this is proof that the ring is being used as a source of power and influence, though its existence is hidden from the public for obvious reasons. Is this coincidence, or is something greater at play? One of the most intriguing hypotheses is that the ring not only grants power but also protects its bearers. Political, financial, and military leaders might have access to the ring or knowledge derived from it, which could explain how certain individuals or groups manage to stay on top, even amidst monumental crises. Could the ring be the secret link that connects these figures of power across generations? Groups like the Illuminati are frequently mentioned in this context. Originally founded in the 18th century, this secret order has been linked to ideas of global control and mass manipulation. Some theorists believe the Ring of Solomon is the true source of the Illuminati's power, used to summon unseen forces that influence political, economic, and social decisions. But is there any real evidence to support these theories, or are they merely conjectures born of fear of the unknown? Other orders, such as the Rosicrucians, known for their pursuit of occult wisdom and alchemy, also appear in these theories. Rosicrucian manuscripts mention Solomon and his mastery over the mysteries of the universe. According to these accounts, the Rosicrucians might have inherited Solomon's knowledge and could be using the ring, or something derived from it, to access what they call universal truth. But if this is true, why was this knowledge hidden from humanity instead of being shared? Another organization frequently cited is Freemasonry, a society whose rituals and symbolism are deeply rooted in the construction of Solomon's temple. Some Freemasons believe the ring is central to the quest for spiritual enlightenment and mastery over the forces of the universe. There are accounts that Freemasons of higher degrees have access to secrets tracing back to Solomon himself. Could the Ring of Solomon be part of these secrets? There is also the theory that the ring is not in the hands of a single organization, but instead circulates among the global elite. This idea is supported by the observation that significant historical events, such as wars, the rise and fall of empires, seem to follow patterns that, for many, signal deliberate manipulation. Could the ring be used to ensure certain families or groups maintain control over society? Skeptics, however, argue that such theories are based on coincidences and exaggerated interpretations. To them, the presence of symbols linked to the Ring of Solomon in monuments or official documents is merely a reflection of Solomon's cultural and religious influence over the centuries. But is it truly a coincidence that these symbols are so present in centers of power? Another fascinating question is the impact the ring could have on science and technology. Some theorists suggest that certain inexplicable scientific advances may be linked to knowledge derived from the ring. This raises the hypothesis that the ring is not just a spiritual relic but also a tool for cosmic understanding. After all, if it revealed the mysteries of the universe to Solomon, why couldn't it influence modern advancements? Financial elites are also frequently mentioned in these theories. Families like the Rothschilds and Rockefellers are associated with global control of wealth and market manipulation. Could the ring be the key to the power of these dynasties? Or are these associations merely the product of popular imagination seeking invisible culprits for the world's inequalities? Finally, there is the disturbing idea that the ring might be used for more sinister purposes. If it truly allows control over demons or spiritual entities, those who possess it could be performing rituals to ensure their position of power. While this theory is dark, it cannot be completely dismissed when we examine the history of cults and rituals conducted by powerful figures over the centuries. Regardless, the concept of the Ring of Solomon being in the hands of a secret elite is an idea that both fascinates and frightens. Could it be proof that the world is being guided by invisible forces? Or is it merely another myth reflecting our fears and distrust of power? But if these theories are true, how is the ring being used in the modern world? This leads us to the next critical question in our journey. Over the centuries, the Ring of Solomon has been shrouded in a veil of mystery, fueling intriguing accounts of its supposed connection to secret groups. Various esoteric organizations, religious orders, and influential figures in history have been linked to this artifact, as if its power had traversed generations in the shadows, shaping events and preserving a hidden legacy. But is there any real evidence to support these theories? The Knights Templar are one of the groups most frequently associated with the ring. Founded in the 12th century, this military religious order gained fame not only for their combat prowess but also for their connection to sacred artifacts. According to some legends, the Templars may have discovered the Ring of Solomon during the Crusades, possibly in Jerusalem, where Solomon's temple itself was said to have been built. But what would they do with something so powerful? Accounts suggest that the Templars conducted secret rituals that reference Solomon and the mastery of spiritual forces. There are manuscripts that link the Templars' unexplained wealth and influence to the use of the ring as a tool to summon entities or manipulate the energies of the unseen world. But when the order was brutally disbanded in the early 14th century, what happened to this legacy? Could the ring have been passed on to other groups that continued to guard its secret? Another group with strong symbolic ties to Solomon is the Freemasons, whose teachings are deeply rooted in the construction of Solomon's temple. Freemasonry incorporates various symbols connected to the king and the idea of hidden knowledge into its rituals. Some of its most influential members claim that certain degrees of the order conceal secrets inherited directly from Solomonic traditions, including knowledge of the Ring of Solomon. But is this an occult truth or merely a myth that enhances the allure of this organization? Even more enigmatic are the Rosicrucians, an esoteric order that emerged in the early 17th century but claims far older origins. Known for their relentless pursuit of the universe's hidden wisdom and practices blending mysticism, alchemy, and philosophy, the Rosicrucians mention Solomon in their texts as an enlightened figure who transcended the limits of ordinary existence. Could the ring have been the key to this transcendence? There are also more cryptic accounts involving individual historical figures, such as John Dee, the mystic, astronomer, and advisor to Queen Elizabeth I. Dee was fascinated by alchemy, occultism, and angelic languages. He is said to have translated texts that reference the power of the Ring of Solomon, and there are rumors that he attempted to recreate the artifact based on its descriptions. But how far did he get? And could other occult scholars have followed a similar path? Another figure often cited is Aleister Crowley, the controversial British occultist who called himself the Great Beast. Crowley was deeply interested in summoning spiritual entities and was fascinated by Solomon's legacy. While there is no concrete evidence that Crowley sought the ring directly, many suggest that he studied texts detailing its power and influence. Could he have uncovered some fragment of hidden knowledge about the artifact? Ancient texts, such as the Testament of Solomon, offer fascinating clues about how the ring was used to command spirits. These manuscripts, which circulated among esoteric scholars, may have inspired generations of alchemists and magicians to pursue the power the ring promised. However, what is most intriguing about these texts is their portrayal of the ring not just as a physical object but as a kind of channel between the human and the divine. This would mean that the ring not only controlled spirits but also granted access to forbidden knowledge. Moreover, connections to secret groups are not limited to the distant past. Some believe that modern organizations, such as the Illuminati, possess the ring. This theory is rooted in the idea that the ring is used to manipulate global events, ensuring that these elites maintain control over humanity's destiny. But if this is true, why do so many mysteries about its location persist? Monuments and constructions attributed to these groups also raise suspicions. Masonic architecture, for example, frequently references Solomon's temple, while the symbols of the Rosicrucians incorporate elements reminiscent of the Seal of Solomon. Could these be indications that the ring still plays a secret role in society? Or are these associations mere coincidences, amplified by popular imagination? One persistent question is whether the ring may have been recreated at some point in history. Occult groups, known for their obsession with alchemy and mysticism, may have attempted to forge a replica of the artifact, even without fully understanding its workings. If this happened, how could one distinguish the original ring from a copy? And more importantly, were these attempts successful? On the other hand, some believe the ring was deliberately hidden to prevent its destruction. According to this theory, it could be stored in secret temples or underground vaults protected by orders that still uphold their oath to guard Solomon's legacy. If this is true, what would these orders fear more? The ring's use or its exposure to the world? Perhaps the greatest mystery of all is how such a powerful artifact could remain hidden in a world as connected as ours. With advanced technologies, archaeological investigations, and the spread of information, could something so significant still be beyond the public's reach? Or, as some theories suggest, was the ring never meant to be found again? If it still exists, how might it be influencing the modern world? It's time to explore the potential impacts and signs of its possible use in the present day. If the Ring of Solomon still exists, what impact could its power have in the 21st century? We live in a world driven by technology, global politics, and an interconnected economy. In this context, an object capable of manipulating invisible forces and controlling events could be used in unimaginable ways, subtly shaping humanity's destiny while remaining unnoticed by most. But where might this artifact be? And how could it be influencing the present? One of the most widely discussed theories is that the ring is hidden in high-security vaults, possibly under the protection of governments or financial elites. The justification is simple. Its power would be so immense that, in the hands of ordinary individuals, it would represent an uncontrollable risk. Imagine the global chaos if knowledge about controlling invisible forces became public. Wouldn't it make sense for such an object to be kept out of reach, restricted to a small group using it for their own interests? Some suggest the ring might be used to manipulate major global events, such as economic crises, wars, or even natural disasters. This theory is based on the idea that supernatural forces could be invoked to bring about drastic changes in the global landscape. Is it merely coincidence that certain political and economic decisions defy logic yet end up serving specific interests? Or is something greater happening behind the scenes? An often cited example is the inexplicable advancement of certain nations during historically unlikely periods. During the Industrial Revolution, for instance, some European powers experienced accelerated development while others were left behind. Could the use of the ring, or a fragment of its power, have been behind such progress? After all, control over invisible forces could have provided technological knowledge or strategic advantages that altered the course of history. In the realm of technology, some theories suggest that the ring could be the key behind certain advancements that still seem unexplainable. Many believe ancient artifacts might hold scientific principles yet to be understood, and the Ring of Solomon could be a central piece of this puzzle. Imagine the impact of an object granting access to dimensions beyond the physical. Could this explain the technological leaps humanity has experienced over the last century? Another area of speculation is the ring's use as a tool for political influence. Certain families and financial groups, such as the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, are often implicated in conspiracy theories about global control. For theorists, the ring might be a secret weapon used to maintain stability and control over complex systems, ensuring these elites remain in power. But how could something like this be proven in a world where such dynasties operate in the shadows? Interestingly, some global crises also raise suspicions. Seemingly irrational wars, unexpected political ascensions, and even climate change have, according to some, been linked to the use of the ring's power. The idea here is that control over supernatural forces would not only shape the present but also influence the future. After all, if someone could foresee and manipulate global events, wouldn't they be able to create an ideal reality for their own interests? But it's not just the elites who feature in these discussions. Some theorists believe the ring may be hidden in secret locations controlled by religious orders. The Vatican, for example, is frequently mentioned as a possible guardian of sacred artifacts, including the Ring of Solomon itself. Could the Church be keeping the ring secret to protect humanity from its destructive power? Or perhaps to ensure that its spiritual influence is not threatened? There's also the possibility that the ring is safeguarded in temples or sacred sites inaccessible to the public. Locations such as Jerusalem, the Temple Mount, or even remote regions of the Middle East are often mentioned as potential hiding places for the artifact. These places, embroiled in conflicts and religious disputes for centuries, may hold more secrets than we can imagine. Could the ring be protected by a select group that believes its power should only be used under extreme circumstances? Another fascinating hypothesis is that the ring might be active indirectly, through individuals who have discovered fragments of its power. Rather than being a physical object, the ring could be a source of energy or knowledge manifesting at specific moments in history. This would explain why certain historical figures, such as Napoleon, Alexander the Great, and other visionary leaders, seem to have access to something beyond the ordinary. Could the power of the ring be accessed through specific rituals or meditations? Finally, some theorists suggest the ring is being used to explore the mysteries of the universe. Scientific organizations like CERN, which operates particle accelerators, are often linked to these theories. The idea is that the ring, rather than being a simple artifact, might be a key to accessing parallel dimensions or understanding the secrets of creation. Could this be the real reason behind such ambitious scientific projects? What becomes clear is that the Ring of Solomon remains an engrossing mystery that challenges our understanding of the modern world. If it still exists, is its power being used for good or evil? Is it protecting the balance of the world or helping shape a new global order? And most importantly, will we ever have clear answers? Or will the ring remain an unreachable symbol of power, hidden in the shadows of history? The Ring of Solomon is far more than an ancient legend. It represents humanity's desire to control the incomprehensible and master the mysteries of the universe. Whether as a physical artifact or an esoteric symbol, its story transcends time, leaving us with profound questions about power, spirituality, and the impact of the unknown on our reality. If it truly exists, its whereabouts remain one of humanity's greatest mysteries, and the consequences of its use, whether visible or invisible, are still beyond our understanding. Could the ring be the secret behind hidden forces shaping the modern world? Or does it remain concealed, waiting for the right moment or the right person to re-emerge? The answer may be closer than we imagine, but still shrouded in shadows and secrets. If you are interested in exploring more about spirituality, I have specially selected some videos filled with profound knowledge and fascinating discoveries that you will love. Just click on one of them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of self-discovery and spiritual learning. Your commitment to knowledge is the first step toward transforming your reality. And now I want to hear from you. What spiritual theme would you like to see here in the next video? Leave your suggestion in the comments. We want to explore the mysteries that fascinate us together and transform your ideas into content that will further open your mind to the secrets of the universe.